increased by 100%. Surely, Minister of Finance, this is not the best way to treat the indigenous business Zambians. The small Zambians who want to find their food by involving themselves into transport. Quickly, Mr. Speaker, I want to speak about the three dangerous things that His Excellency the President and the government must pay particular attention. The three Fs. These are very dangerous, and they have made government to succeed, and they have made governments to fall. One F is fertilizer. The other F is food. The other one is fuel. When you don't manage these three Fs, Mr. Speaker, the catastrophe on the lives of the Zambian people are unbearable. We have been here to advise the Minister of Agriculture of what is happening now by increasing and removing the farmers on the Farmer Input Support Program. Minister, what is happening on the ground? When the farmers go to deposit, they find those the old ones are not there, they are new ones. They are agreeing to deposit for the new ones, and then they begin sharing the fertilizer. What we are doing is we are increasing poverty among the poor community. And the Minister for Fuel, we were advising, and we said, you cannot be reviewing the fuel pump price monthly. It becomes unpredictable for any business to do. We are happy that today that advice has been heeded to.
Order. The time is up. The Honorable Member for Mapatizia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving the people of Mapatizia an opportunity to debate this budget. Mr. Speaker, I will narrow my debate on page 6, economic and transformation and job creation, especially on livestock and agriculture. Coming from a rural constituency, a farming constituency, Mr. Speaker, agriculture production in maize form and the livestock form has seen a decline in the past years. Why is it so? We have a lot of problems right now which have happened as a ripple effect, because we all know what a ripple effect is, because of the policies which used to exist before now. Yes, we have seen from page 6, the minister indicated that on livestock, they are going to do restocking. Of course, among other things, what affected was the climate change. But also we saw disease. Foot and mouth disease ravaged cattle. In 2020, Mr. Speaker, there was no remedy from government then. We were using salt to treat animals. But look at this budget now. The minister indicated that government is going to take steps, measures, and actually they have already taken measures to provide medication, extension officers to curb this problem. And according to the people of Mapatizia and Zambia at large, which is now receiving the effects of the negligence in the agriculture sector, in form of hunger, people are complaining that there is no maize. Government has got all the answers through the budget. Coming to maize, that is agriculture, corn production, which is the heart of contention now. People are saying people are starving. Yes, we have seen in the recent past, agriculture inputs through FISP reduced to 3 bags. Yes, right now, yes, we were getting 3 bags. Yes, yes. So now we have seen an equitably distributed FISP program across the country, and people are still complaining. We are still recovering as Zambians. We are still recovering as Zambians. Now that after the new dawn came, we went back to 6 bags. There was a lot of production. The farmer cried foul. They said, we also want the price to go up. because of the demand outside the country. And I mean, people can sell wherever they want to sell. We are encouraging people to do the farming. We know there are people who have, we are aware there are people who have despised ranching, called other people kachema, but secretly they are doing it. We know them. They are buying animals. They are also ranchers. Yes. And they eat. No, they are even interested in the business itself. We know they are ranching. Yes, our colleagues. And we encourage them to do so. And thank goodness to the new Dawn government for the policies, the restocking program, the medication, the improving of the breed, which is being talked about here. And according to the Zambians, those Zambians, both sides, Mr. Speaker, we are all interested in farming as a business. This should be an encouragement. I don't have much to say. I'll go to the mining sector, Mr. Speaker. Yes, interesting. Government has reached a settlement with KCM. We are going to see the coming back of the copper belt to life. Yes, which was dead. Also, people are saying they are making noise about the sugilite and the lithium. Mr. Speaker, quite surprising. Minerals cannot just resurface from without because the UPND government has taken over. These minerals were over. They are there in the ground. They are being mined. But people were doing it disguisingly, stealing from the Zambian people. The ore was going out of this country as other things. But now we are surprised, oh, the sugilite. In Mampatisia, lithium was being mined. Licenses were given to the wrong people. Foreign investors are the ones who were mining. We didn't know what they were mining. Mr. Speaker, I had to raise an alarm. When the UPND government came in power, we said, what mineral is going out of Mapatisia in trucks without knowing? Sooner or later, someone cried out, lithium. We are happy that government has given the artisanal miners, especially across in the copper belt, wherever it is, even in my constituency, in Mapatisia, artisanal mines, so that we can benefit as locals than the mineral going out disguised. Yes, so this government is working. We are going to pay the debt progressively as we improve and sorting out the problems we found. We cannot do it overnight. Hence, Mr. Speaker, this budget should be encouraged. This budget is a budget to give hope to the poor, bridging the gap between those who stole money and stocked in their girlfriends' cars and at homes, and the poor people of Mapatisia who want to sell their lithium and benefit from it, henceforth contribute to the GDP. Mr. Speaker, I support the budget.
The Honorable Member of Lubasenshi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given to the good people of Lubasenshi constituency to add a voice on this important subject, which is our national budget for 2024. As you might be aware that in Lubasenshi constituency, people need development because they are Zambians. And since they are Zambians, they have sent a message to say, Honorable Tauro Chewe, please kindly remind UPND government, because they're in charge of the welfare of this republic. I will start with issue of borrowing. The people of Lubasenshi constituency, they are not in any agreement, first of all, to think about borrowing in this 2024 budget. We have serious questions that we need to ask ourselves. Why do you want to borrow even money? Why do you even intend to borrow money in 2024? First and foremost, Mr. Speaker, Zambia is a blessed country. We have a lot of natural resources. and one of them is minerals. We are talking about copper, we are talking about cobalt, we are talking about emerald, we are talking about even suggerite. All these minerals, when we put them together, and when we mine them together, definitely we can't even think about even borrowing. Borrowing could be the second option. Now, the people of Rubansenshi, or what they are looking forward from UPND government, and I'm trying to address the president, Mr. Akainde Ichirema, because when you go to page 1 in this speech, according to this speech under number 2, where the Minister of Finance told this August House that, and I want to quote, Madam, I'm a bearer of message from His Excellency Mr. Akainde Chirema, President of the Republic of Zambia, recommending favorable consideration of the motion that I now lay on the table. End the quote. So, since this message is coming from the Republican President, the people of Rubansesh constituency, they are saying, first and foremost, the president of this country, Mr. Akainde Ichirema, was voted by the Zambian people, including the people of Rubansesh constituency. Therefore, they have a right to remind the Republican president to ensure that, one, their lifestyle, their livelihood should be improved. Why are they saying so? The UPND government has been in opposition for so many years. They have seen governments coming in, they have seen governments going out, meaning they have a lot of experience when it comes to governance. I'll try to take you back, Mr. Speaker, to 2011, when President Michael Sata was alive. He promised the Zambian people that once you give PF an opportunity to form government in 2011, we are going to change the economy of this country within 90 days. And for sure, in 2011, we saw how Michael Sata, may his soul rest in eternal peace, how he embarked on road infrastructure and other public infrastructures, because this is what was affecting the Zambian people. And you agree with me that indeed he was not just talking, but we have seen even the results. Some of the infrastructure that today we are talking about, when you talk of Lusaka, there are a lot of freight bridges that we are seeing here. We have seen offices, Ministry of Local Government and Housing, we have seen Ministry of Infrastructure, we have seen Kazungura Bridge, we have seen a lot of infrastructure across the country. All these were packaged because President Michael Sata wanted to prove to the Zambian people that I'm going to rule better. Now, my advice to the president, he should focus on improving the lives of the Zambian people, including the people of Zambia. How is he going to improve? And how is he going to make sure that he better the lives of the Zambian people? One, whether we like it or not, this is the fact. We can't ignore issue of mining sector. I'll take you back in 1967, when Kaunda became a Republican president in 1964. He embarked on the mining sector as a backbone to grow other sectors. And as we're speaking right now, we are in this parliament because all the proceeds that were raised from the mining sector managed to grow other sectors such as agriculture, such as education, and you also embarked on the public infrastructure, such as this parliament building that we are in. Then he constructed UTH, University of Zambia, CBU, a number of public infrastructures. So even this time around, we need to be serious with these minerals. And two, we are the ZCCM, which managed to employ over 67,000 employees, and they managed even to pay them well. And the people who were managing this sector are Zambians. Even today, these Zambians, they are still alive, and they have capacity to run these mines. What's so difficult for us to nationalize these mines? For instance, what's so difficult for us to say, let ZCCM given an opportunity to start mining the same minerals that we have. We have emerald in Rufanyama. Who is benefiting from this emerald? Who is benefiting from this sujrite? Who is benefiting from this copper? So the bottom line is that we have a mandate as a country to ensure that people of Zambia live a better life. Then the other thing that I should also remind the president, because there are people who want to mislead him, and at the end of the day, these are the same people who are going to laugh at him the moment people make a decision in 2026.
Honorable
And
member,
I would like to...
is that part of your budget speech, the way you're referring to the
Yes, it is on page 1, Mr. Speaker. It's on page 1. I'm talking about the mine.
Okay, I'm guiding you. Order. I'm guiding
Yes.
you. Desist.
Yes.
You should desist from involving the president into debate in this context. Because you are now saying that people are misleading the president. Debate the budget speech, not the president. The message is from the president. You are well guided, so avoid doing that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I'm drawing from page 1. The bottom line that mine sector should be given an opportunity to make sure that it can able to raise revenue for this country, because wherever you go, all what is really is resources. If you look at the answers that the ministers are providing to this honorable house, you find that most of the questions are anchored on the resources. But if we don't prioritize mine, if we don't prioritize agriculture, where do you expect this country going to get the money and sort out all the issues that are affecting the Zambian people? You are talking about establishing, for instance, fertilizer plant. We need the resources. That's why the Zambian people, when they start complaining, what is important is to interrogate why is it that the Zambian people are now complaining? And for me, it's a reminder to the UPND government to ensure that they go back to the root cause of this problem, so that at the end of the day, they can govern this country according to the wish of the Zambian people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. The Honorable Member for Bangweulu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity for the people of Bangweulu to just make few comments so that we make those who are sleeping awake. Honorable Minister of Finance has proposed some estimates that he has brought to this House for us to approve, so that we enable him to unlock the economy as he is suggesting. And I followed him very attentively, especially when he said that we are unlocking the economy, which will mean to create jobs, to reduce poverty, and to do certain things that will also reduce the cost of living. And he also went to the extent of saying that our country now has regained respect, hope, and admiration among other nations of the world. Because, according to him, he has reduced inflation, increased CDF, increased allocation to FISIP, also increased the money into doing other projects. And he also went to the extent saying that we are coming from the regime where we saw rising inflation, stagnant economic growth, crashing debt, and messed up economy. Mr. Speaker, I wish we can create an opportunity where we discuss the two budgets, the current budget and the coming budget, so that we can look at the deliverables, whether the minister has delivered on the promises or in the commitments that he made in the previous budget. But I just want to say this, Mr. Speaker, that this budget, the way I look at it, from where I'm standing, is not a pro-poor budget. And I want to demonstrate that in the economy, Mr. Speaker, according to some debaters and according to the minister, in an economy where the inflation was above 28, the cost of living was very low. Minimum was at 150. In a fixed economy, minimum is at 300. It is not adding up. There is no logic. In the economy that was messed up, according to some colleagues, fuel was at 17 kwacha. In the economy that has been restructured, fuel is at 30 kwacha. In the economy that was messed up, fertilizer was at 638. In the economy that has been transformed, fertilizer is at 800 kwacha. In the economy that was messed up, poverty level was at 50%. In a structured and improved economy, poverty has risen to 67%. They have even taken poverty to Southern Province, which always was a good province. In the economy, Mr. Speaker, that was messed up. Transport from Zambia to Lusaka was 250 kwacha. In the economy that is restructured and developed, the cost of living has gone up. I want to demonstrate, Mr. Speaker. In the economy where there is free education, which is a good thing, I want to demonstrate, Mr. Speaker. In PF regime, pupils from grade 8 to grade 12 were paying 200 kwacha school fees in towns and 100 kwacha in rural areas, and very minimal transport. On Saturday, I took time to go to Kamwala bus terminals to get the price fares. I want to share with you, Mr. Speaker. For a boy, I want to demonstrate how the cost of living has gone up. For a boy from Linda compound, a pupil at Matelo Secondary School, a pupil from Linda compound in Munkolo Ward, Kanyama constituents, where I reside, the cost of transport from Linda to town was 12 kwacha. From town to Matero was 5 kwacha. Mr. Speaker, if you put the two figures together, it will give you 17 kwacha from Linda to Mateo for a pupil who is in grade 8 at Matero Secondary School. To and fro, the pupil was paying 34 kwacha per day. If you multiply by 5 days in a week, it gives you 170 kwacha. You multiply that by 13 weeks in the term, it gives you 2.210 kwacha. That is then. Now, in the economy, which is being fixed, a pupil now pays. A pupil from Linda to town pays 18 kwacha. From town to Matelo, 10 kwacha. The total of 28 kwacha, Mr. Speaker. And to and fro is 56 kwacha. If you multiply that by 5 days, it gives you 280 kwacha. 280 kwacha times 13 weeks in the term, it gives you 3.6400 kwacha only in transport. So now, if you add the school fees on 2,200, it will give you 2,400. There is an increment of 1,230, which translates, when we add 200 kwacha, which translates into 2 years of school fees. Okay? So 2 years of school fees. So, Mr. Speaker, we are saying this budget is not pro-poor. It is for the rich. I've just demonstrated, and I will lay these fares on the table, Mr. Speaker, to show that the cost of living, the cost of transportation has gone up. I've said yes. Of course, free education, the way you put it, because the minister here was saying, if you want us to subsidize fuel, we should now forget about school fees, free education. You can strike a balance, Mr. Speaker. The cost of transport for a pupil has increased by 1,000 kwacha plus. Okay, so if you look at these figures, it goes to show that this government needed to deal with free education, also the cost of doing fuel, and also the cost of transportation for the same pupils whose school fees have been removed. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Order. The acting leader of government business adjournment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
Notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received. The Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Mr. Speaker, this motion on adjournment is not controversial as it is premised on the principle that the government is there to promote the common welfare of its citizens. It is the government's responsibility, Mr. Speaker, to look out for the well-being of the citizens, improve the livelihood of the people, and ensure that there is improvement in the Human Development Index. Mr. Speaker, the one area in which the government has not been doing well in promoting the welfare of the Zambian citizens is the management of fuel prices. Mr. Speaker, in January 2021, the government through ERB introduced the monthly review of fuel prices, of course with a view to make the fuel prices cost reflective and to make it easy for the government to manage debt that the government owes to the oil marketing companies. Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, the monthly review of fuel prices is one of the reasons why in the past 18 months, prices of goods and services have not been stable. The fact that the price of fuel affects production means that the prices of goods and services change every month. Every time, Mr. Speaker, the government...
Order. Order, order, order. The clerk, ring the bells.
Parliament, Mr. Luhambe Mwene, debate to the motion. We had Mapatizia, Member of Parliament, Ms. Imelda Mnashabantu, debate to the motion. We also had Pambashe, Member of Parliament, Mr. Ronald Chitotela, debate to the motion.
Yes, Taza, and so bells are still ringing. There's no quorum in the House, and it is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament must be present in the House for any business to transact. And at the time the quorum was collapsed, it was a Chisali Member of Parliament, Mr. Kalarwe Mukosa, who brought a matter of subject for debate on motion of adjournment titled Change the Review of Prices for Petroleum Products from a monthly to quarterly basis. And so once the quorum is formed, we expect business of the House to resume.
Indeed, Matimba, we do expect business to resume once quorum is formed. So as of now, bells are still ringing, and it is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House. We must make mention that earlier on at 14:30, when business resumed, Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker did make 3 announcements, and in her first announcement, she recognized the presence in the public gallery of pupils as well as teachers from 2 schools, namely Matero Girls Secondary School in Lusaka District and Kafue Boys Secondary School in Kafue District. Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the guests.
In the second announcement, Madam First Deputy Speaker informed the House that in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order number 165-5, she made the following changes to the composition of the Committee on Energy, Water Development and Tourism. And so Mr. Davis Chisopa MP has been appointed to replace Ambassador Robert Kalimi MP.
Madam Speaker did make another announcement. Madam Honorable First Deputy Speaker did make another announcement where she informed the House about the fact already gladly known that Commonwealth Parliamentary Association awarded the Speaker of National Assembly, Right Honorable Nelly B.K. Muti, MP FAPRA, as the Commonwealth Parliamentarian of the year 2023. Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker informed the House that the Honorable Speaker emerged winner of the award following a 4-stage nomination and selection process involving 8 other strong nominations from across the Commonwealth.
Madam First Deputy Speaker also stated that the selection committee emphasized the number of qualities, including the Honorable Speaker's contributions to upholding the rule of law, her commitment to transparency in parliamentary processes, and her dedication to ensuring the citizens of Zambia have quick and easy access to parliamentary information. And so Madam First Deputy Speaker also stated that the Honorable Speaker received the award on 5th October 2023 at the conclusion of the 66th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association General Assembly in Accra, Ghana. And so on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam First Deputy Speaker congratulated the Honorable Madam Speaker for the achievement.
Yes, indeed. So those were the 3 announcements that the Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker made when business resumed, and the bells are still ringing. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House.
Yes, Taza, and the House, when business resumed at 14:30, also on the order paper, the House considered one question for oral answer under Standing Order 76, and 3 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 74. And so the first question for oral answer under Standing Order 76 came from Kamfinsa Member of Parliament, Mr. Christopher Kangombe, who posed this question to the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation. He wanted to find out a question in 2 parts, whether the government is aware that
As there is no quorum, you can still ring the bell for the next 2 minutes.
Bells are still ringing. The quorum has not yet been formed. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House. And at the time the quorum collapsed, Chinsali, Member of Parliament, Mr. Kalave Mkosa, was on the floor of the House as he had brought up a matter subject for debate on the motion of adjournment, and this matter was titled Change the Review of Prices for Petroleum Products from monthly to quarterly basis.
Yes, Taza, and so also just to make a mention that the private member's motion on the order paper, which was supposed to be moved by Bahati Member of Parliament, Mr. Levan Chiwombwe, titled Formulate Policy to Regulate the Operations of Dump Sites, that in order to protect the environment and underground water for pollution, this House urges the government to formulate policy to regulate dump sites. And so this motion has been deferred to a later date.
Exactly, Matimba. We did see resumption of debate on the supply motion, a motion of 29 September 2023. This motion was moved by the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning after he presented the 2024 national budget, and he was urging that the House do now resolve into Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2024 to 31st December 2024, together with the annual borrowing plan presented to the National Assembly in September 2023. And we did see quite a number of members of parliament debate to the motion. And so bells are still ringing. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of parliament needs to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House.
Yes, Tazain, so just now we look at the details of the questions that have been considered on the floor of the House. Some of the questions are question number 91, which came from Feira, Member of Parliament, Mr. Emmanuel Tembo, and he posed this question to the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Order. As there be no quorum on the floor, the subject for debate elapses. The House is now adjourned.
For still being with us on Parliament television, and so the House has just adjourned until tomorrow at 14:30 hours. Just now we look at the details of the questions that have been considered on the floor of the House, as we have already given you the summary of the announcement, and we've also given you the details of the announcement that Madam First Deputy Speaker made when business resumed at 14:30 hours. Just now we look at